Hey everybody, this is Brett, and tonight I wrote another post, and I really love writing. Ever since I was a kid, I enjoyed writing. And these days, as an adult, I enjoy writing about things that really matter to me. And so tonight I wrote about kind of like my religion. And you guys know that I'm not really religious per se, not like a traditional like Catholics or where I'm from, the Mormons in Utah. But I do have something that's kind of like a religion in that I do things religiously, regularly. And it's something that I really believe in, things that I believe in that are part of my religion. And so I'll read some to you. I walk or ride a bicycle to the store now that I'm in town. Now, that wasn't possible when I lived out in the country because I'd get killed by giant 4x with tires that weigh as much as me. It costs like $500 a piece. So, but now I'm in town, and today I took my bike twice. I went to the post office with a bunch of packages. Thank you for the helpful orders, everybody. And then I went and paid the rent at TD Bank. Take a reusable bag to the store every single time. That is something I definitely do religiously. I mean, I cannot stand to use like those plastic things. I don't like to have to use a paper one. If I forget for some reason, and I never do, then I will use a paper one. But nowadays with my bike bags and baskets and stuff, I really don't even have to take a bag. And so, yeah. Hang laundry on a line instead of using a dryer. Okay, on the side of this apartment, I actually have a couple of those big T things that look like a Jesus cross kind of, that you can put laundry lines on, but I've got to fix them. And I haven't had time to do that yet. And I've got some nylon rope that would work. And then I don't have to go and buy some, for the property that's not mine. So yeah, I really like doing that. And here, I don't like to have to sit and wait at the laundromat. I still have to take the clothes down there to wash them because I'm not going to wash by hand. Now, someday I might actually do that. I might get one of those washboards and wash by hand. But yeah, I'm going to get my laundry line set up again, like in the cabin. I never used the dryer. I always used the laundry lines. I mean, maybe if it was a pinch and it was really raining outside, sell them though. Okay, so I own an economical car. It gets 30 a gallon, which is not bad. And I am going to get another problem with it fixed. I learned that my engine mounts, my motor mounts were fried. And that's what the vibration was with my car motor. So we're going to fix that in the next couple of days here, very soon. Buy food in bulk and avoid packaging as much as possible. Now, I used to be able to do that before COVID came. Now they don't even let you into the bulk room. It is amazing. Some things with COVID, we have been forced, well, not me. I mean, for the most part, I don't comply, okay? I don't play their game. But to go in the co-op, you have to, and you're not allowed to go in the bulk room, okay? So I can't use my cloth bags in there for bulk, and I have to get all plastic. It's amazing. Okay, so buy organic food for better health and support that industry. And sometimes, like, immediately a lot of people will say stuff like, well, we can't afford that, Okay, so I added this little part to that. Yes, I still did this when I was very poor, totally broke no matter what. Okay, so even when I was like living in Tucson and I was barely getting by. I mean, I was so freaking broke. I bought all organic food. All. Okay, so anybody that has like is telling me excuses, this and that, I'm not buying into it. Sorry. And people have created their own lives anyway. So those of you with kids and school loans and car payments and big car insurance payments, all kinds of blah, 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 blah. You created that, okay? You created your own scenario. So let's see who's with me here. Hi, Winter. Hi, Winter. Hi, everybody. 6 people are watching. Woo! Okay, so where was I? I only eat whole foods. Okay, so that's been the case for 29 years now. Whole foods. And some people are like, I try my best to eat whole foods. No, not me. I completely went full on cold turkey off of all processed foods in about 1991. All of it. And yes, I sweated all night long and had cookie and candy dreams. Every single night, I would wake up in a puddle of sweat for 6 months straight. I thought it would never end. But it was pretty easy. I'd had a serious fasting experience, and that taught me a lot. And I knew what was happening. I knew my body was purging as much as like, and going through a lot of changes. And so I knew what was happening. And so I just, hung in there and got through it. That's all there is to it. So, and no processed anything, no mass-produced meats now. Okay, so I've learned about that. No mass-produced chicken, including organic chicken. No store chicken, none of that. No store pork or store anything mass-produced meats. No dairy for 20 years. No wheat for 20 years. No GMO. I definitely don't do that. Okay, consciously drive less because you care about the resources and the environment. Okay, so my car has now sat where it's been and it hasn't moved for about 4 days. I haven't started my car for about 4 days. I've just been riding my bicycle to the post office, to the store, wherever. So you hate Donald Trump because he'd never do or recommend any of these things. Okay, this is another thing with Donald Trump. Every single one of these things that I'm telling you that I do, Donald Trump doesn't do any of them. None of them. And he would never recommend any of these things. I guarantee it. We would never do any of it. And it's okay to admit that you hate something just because new agey people say it's bad. Okay, so that's the other thing. Like people will say, don't hate. Screw that. If I hate something, I hate it. And that's all there is to it. And I'll tell you that I hate it. Because it's totally natural and so many people deserve to be hated. Okay? It's absolutely true. Am I telling you anything that's not true? It's okay to hate something or someone, and a lot of things and people deserve to be hated. And some deserve a lot worse, and they get it. Okay, so to prove that what I'm telling you is true, some people deserve jail time, and they get it. Some people deserve to be executed, and then they get it. So that's what happens. So be it, they say. Use natural chemicals and wear natural clothes for many different reasons. And I'm not going to go into all those right now, but the first and foremost thing is that natural things feel good. Cotton feels good. Organic cotton feels even better. And I will admit that I don't always buy organic cotton clothes because they're so expensive. Prefer using natural things as much as possible. I like natural things. Wood, cotton, wool, stones. You love to go walking in nature and do it often. No explanation required. You spend a lot of time taking care of your animals, walking, brushing, bathing, feeding, healthy foods, and more. Chakra was a well taken care of dog. I've been thinking about doing a video on food. It's a very difficult thing with a carnivorous, omnivorous, or carnivorous animal like a dog or a cat. It's worse for dogs, and the bigger dogs, it's even worse. And it's just a very, very difficult subject to talk about because so many of you own dogs. And so I don't even know if I'm going to do that video. You spend a lot of, you never go to doctors because you know what a racket they represent and you fully abhor their peddling of toxic drugs. You would never ever do a vaccine under any circumstances. You'd never buy health care because you don't believe in their treatments, so why would you pay into them? Also, you think that it's wrong to force people into sharing the responsibility and paying for other people's poisonous side effects laden meds. Obamacare. You're not concerned about COVID spreading because you know that the only way people are ever going to change is if they hit rock bottom, just like an alcoholic. You believe in making yourself healthy by natural means only. You're a full-on truth teller without fear of reprisal, intimidation, or rebuttal. These are some of the things that would make you similar to me. If you don't do or feel the same, I hope you do someday. Okay, so let's see if there's any comments. Hi, Winter Sky. I love your products, Brett, even though I'm a Republican. It's okay to be a Republican. It's just not okay to support somebody like Donald Trump. You know, there's nothing wrong with having conservative values. As long as you're not a liar and an unethical piece of crap, you know, that's all. It's totally, I'm probably more leaning, oftentimes I'm leaning right. You guys know, listen to me speak. Do I not sound conservative? I've got so much Saturn in me, it's not even funny. You know, if some new agey person lays down a bunch of crap, I'll be like, yeah, right, excuse you, smell you later. Do I like hippies? Seldom. I like some aspects of what they do, you know, and I like to relax sometimes, but I'm not into getting high and I'm not into, you know, like, I don't know, I'll paint my face. I'll paint my face and I'll have some fun, you know, but I'm not into being lazy and stinky, you know, and nor am I into wearing a 3-piece suit and going to some party, you know, and trying to, you know, like I was saying in the video the other day, fashion, you know, like, am I into fashion? All I want is truth. All I want is the real deal, okay? So that's why I'm not interested in anything or anyone that still supports Donald Trump. Hi, Buck. How are you? So, did you guys enjoy that one? Would you like me to read another one? I love to write. And I'm sure I can find some more. Have I got any responses to that one? Nope. Let's see. There was a girl that was freely dancing. Like there's this concert with the Byrds, Bob Dylan, and a few other people up there singing Turn, Turn, Turn and Mr. Tambourine Man, a couple of Byrds songs, right? And they look out in the audience and there's this one blonde girl just grooving. Just she was the only one standing, right? And she's dancing like, and she's not just dancing, she's like, really dancing. And I'm like, that's the girl for me right there, the one that doesn't give a what about what anybody is seeing or thinking about her. She just wants to dance. I love it. I totally freaking love it. Let's see. And see, on my group page, I've got like nearing 700 members on this group now. And I let people post pretty much freely. I don't keep everything, but I've told people what is more acceptable and what's not. And I know there's a post in here in regards to that, if I can find it. I don't know that you'd find it that interesting. Okay, here's one that I'd like to read to you. Should you go for high-paying jobs? This is a really good one, I think. There are a lot of people, including both of my parents, a CPA and an RN, that went for the high-paying job, mostly for the money. How many of you believe this is the best choice, to do a job you don't really like day in and day out, so that you can make enough to live a standard American lifestyle in comfort? I think it's a cop-out. It's weak at best. Shouldn't you do something that you totally believe in and love? The biggest problem here is the ridiculous lives that people have to lead in order to make ends meet. You have to go to college, burying yourself in debt, in order to get this piece of paper that gives you the privilege of doing the same old job the rest of your life, paying far too much taxes, buying into health care, drugs, car payments, 30-year mortgages, and children. I've never bought into any of that, and I just want to live a peaceful life with super healthy, logical, and holistic people. I posted the physical therapy video with Bob and Brad on there. So many posts that other people have put up. Is anyone even still with me? 9 people, thank you. Sorry, it's taking me so long here. So, people on this group called Holistic Homesteading Tiny House Eco Village Forming. I let them post posts. Most of them are like, is anyone wanting to do a community in the Midwest or in Florida or in the Wisconsin area, blah, 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 stuff like that. I've really had to refine the group description here so that I could narrow it down to the people that I really am interested in being in my personal community. Other people can start their own communities, but this is the description of what I'm looking for my community. And I may have to explain some of these so that I don't offend people. Okay, so I'm starting an eco-village of holistic health-minded people. That's the first sentence. Holistic health-minded people. And some people that aren't holistically healthy, people that are like obese, still thought that I was open to allowing those people to be in my community. I have a whole community of obese people right here where I live in the mountains already. I have a whole freaking community of those people already. I see them at the store every time I go. I don't really want to live amongst those people. But they misunderstood, so I had to kind of get more specific here. I'm talking about dedicated practitioners of massage, yoga, fitness, and whole foods that have accomplished a relatively high level of well-being and vitality. That one, I worked on that sentence for about 15 minutes. I was like, put that in there, put that in there. I looked up a few words too, just, high level. I'm talking about dedicated practitioners of massage, self-massage, yoga, fitness, and whole foods that have accomplished a relatively high level of well-being and vitality. The where part of the community is not near as important as the people part, but we will likely be in eastern Tennessee up in the mountains. No building codes. Okay, so about this community, we are holistic, health-oriented diet. You are what you eat. We are working toward a plant-based diet for many different reasons. Okay, so I have, regardless of wherever I've been in my diet, for a long time now, been working diligently on eating less animal foods. And I will continue to do that. This last year of 2020, I ate probably at least 50% less, if not 60 or even 70% less animal foods than in 2019. And I plan to continue to eat less and less this year. Maybe not that high of a percentage. I really went for it, but this doesn't mean we are perfect vegans. For those of you that are assuming things already. We avoid wheat and dairy, and we are not obese as so many have become. We love animals. Okay, so now this is something that I have learned, that I have such a deep, deep love for and always have, but that's getting deeper as I go because I keep watching all these animal videos on YouTube and on Facebook. And there's so many, they're amazing. And the dodo, have you watched those? Hopefully, probably you have, because those are the most watched videos on YouTube. The animal videos from that channel, the dodo. And that's a good thing because a lot of people need to build this love for animals, because when they do that, then they won't eat them as much. They'll gradually work towards more of a plant-based diet. And that's how it has to happen. It has to be gradual because your body has to adapt. Your mind has to adapt. Your digestive system has to get stronger and have a better and better and better ability to absorb nutrients. And the difference between a digestive system that's really able to absorb nutrients and one that doesn't very well, and a person that has a chaotic mind that affects the digestive system's ability to absorb nutrients, I mean, it's all so deeply interconnected. And the more you are in a state of parasympathetic nervous system, the more you are in your parasympathetic nervous system state of being, the calmer your mind and body are and the better you digest. But getting to that point, it takes years, it takes decades. And regenerating your digestive system after it's been clogged with wheat gluten. You got to get all that out of there, and then you have to rebuild the villi in your small intestine. And it takes knowledge and time and effort and enemas. Let's see. Oh, 13 people. Nice. Okay, so any comments? Hi, Aller. Hi, Hippie Island. Hi, Guar. What are the next steps for the group? Maybe make some polls to gather opinions or members. You know, but the thing that I'm learning, like I've got 650, 60, 70 members of this in this group. And so far, I have not found one really promising member. But that doesn't mean that I'm like giving up on it or anything. People, for somebody that's like as kind of opinionated as I am, you know, people would have to get to know and love me to be able to start to think about cohabitating, you know, living in a community with me. But it's all right. All right. I'm lovable. They just have to get to know me, you know. And I'm a perfectionist. The thing is that I'm a perfectionist, and I've refined my lifestyle and my diet and everything to a point of where the only way that I can have communal members to hang out with is if they're at least somewhat in the ballpark. Okay, so there are going to be people that have cleaner diets than me for sure, but not a lot. There'll be some though, and so I'm not expecting perfection in any regard. I may have got a little bit crazy, not really crazy, but with my description of the group, what I'm looking for, I kind of went a little bit over the line just because I wanted to project out a conservative mindset in this regard. Because it seemed to me that people needed to be like, a hard line needed to be drawn in the sand because people didn't really get it. I had a Zoom meeting, right, with a couple of people, 4 people. And one girl she was attending to getting her mac and cheese and steak. She was cooking up a steak with mac and cheese. And I thought that I had made it clear that this was a Whole Foods group and that we were looking for people that you know, they for years they've been eating whole, fresh, and preferably organic foods. And so some people, maybe people are wishful thinking. Maybe they're just optimistic. But in any case, I needed to make it really clear, like with a vibrant description, like a quick to the chase description of exactly what I was looking for. And some people are like, one person called me Hitler. Can you believe that? One girl emailed me and said that I was like Hitler. I don't recall exactly what she said. But yeah, people are really sensitive, you know, and when I made it clear that I was not wanting to cohabitate with obese people, I mean, some people here that are watching this might be really angry at me. I'm telling you what I really want. I'm not going to get what I really want unless I tell you what I really want. Now, I have friends that are overweight, and they like me because of my honesty and whatever. They also are not afraid or, you know, going to excuse me from whatever because they know they need to get healthy. They know they need to eat whole foods and do all this yada yada. I tell y'all that the most important thing is not so much that you lose weight. I never focus on losing weight. Look, I can pinch that. See? There's some fat there. Do I look like I have a 6-pack? I just tell people what they need to focus on. Whole foods, organic, get away from wheat and dairy. And I'll tell you, it took me 8 years to get off of wheat and dairy. And that was largely because I didn't believe necessarily that I needed to. I thought that the dairy part, because I'd read a book by Ron Schmid, ND, that said that if it were range-free, healthy, no antibiotics and hormones, and whole and not homogenized dairy and raw, then it was good for you. And so I believed it, and I bought my own goat. And I had to go through that whole scenario to find out that, no, that was all BS. That was all a bunch of BS. And people, it's not surprising to me now, though, because people will defend their dairy to the death. People love their cheese. But when all you have to do is go out to a dairy farm, okay, and you see those animals, grazing animals need to be in a green field. That's what they need. They need grass and weeds to eat. When you see cows trudging around in the mud with just eating old hay, those animals aren't healthy. Those animals are not happy. That's all a bunch of bull. Taking the babies away from their mothers so that they can milk the cows and they give them like some soy. My cousins would get up in the morning and they had these great big bottles to feed the cows. And that's what they did every morning. They had to feed them some crap they'd mix, probably some soybean powdered crap. And they're not going to give them their mother's milk. That's what they sold. The soybean powdered crap was cheap. Give that to the calves. It's absolutely amazing what human beings do and they think is acceptable. Absolutely freaking amazing. And they'll make up excuses day and night. Trump supporters, they'll make up excuses for him forever. So ever since I started eating whole foods, I've felt so much better. Your content has pushed me to improve my health throughout the years. Good, Buck. Do you intend on juicing much this winter? I haven't pulled my juicer out in God knows how long. I just don't juice. I'm not saying that juicing isn't good for some things. Greens. Maybe carrots or something. If you've got some extra vegetables in your garden and you want to juice some, then it's probably cool. But to consume like apple juice, I think it hikes your blood sugar too much. I think that when you consume apples in their whole form, it releases the juices more gradually. I think that when you juice carrots also versus just eating whole carrots, it's spiking your blood sugar too much with too many sugars. I think that it's a lot more natural, because like if you take a hand crank juicer, like the Amish, like at the Amish store, if you go to the one in like Lehman's Mercantile, whatever it's called, it's an Amish store. And you can buy a hand crank juicer. You can buy them in various stores that sell juicers and things like that. And it's got like a screen in there, and you hand crank it, and the only things that it'll juice are, and also my Green Star juicer, and the only things that many of those will juice are greens, because it squeezes it out in a manner that's like there's a big screw cork in there, and it squeezes the juice out. But it doesn't work good for like fruits. They're too juicy, but it works good for greens. And if you're a gardener, you'll see that one of the things that you could potentially have, and not, if you've got a lot of extra greens, there's no way that you can ever eat all of them. Now you could feed them to your pigs or whatever animals, or you could juice them. And that would, see, the lifestyle coincides with the diet. You have to put two and two together in these regards. And when there's something that's really, really plentiful, that's probable, like a good indicator that it's something that you should eat more of, like for instance, squash. And if something is a lot less available, like herbs, like garlic, then you don't eat near as much of that. So you have to look at the clues. 2 plus 2 equals 4, etc. I like making green smoothies in my Vitamix for all the fiber and goodness. It's so easy. Okay. I'm cooking buffalo bones. I'm cooking them 3 days until the bones are soft and then eat the bones. Okay. Yeah, I'm not against eating like free, happy, healthy animals. I don't do it that much because I'm working towards, like I said, being more of a plant-based eater. And I'm not saying anything's necessarily in that regard bad or good. Some animals eat meat, some animals don't. Some human animals eat meat, some human animals don't. Right now, I'm mostly eating eggs. That's where I'm at. Everyone's at a different place in their evolution. There are things, though, that I believe are absolutes. There are absolutes that we need to stick with. And people need to gradually sometimes get off of things. And that's cool. That's how it should be, But for me, I went for it with Whole Foods. Like I told you, 29 years ago, I completely went cold turkey off of all processed foods, white flour foods, white sugar, all of that. A big Trump turkey. Adam, nice. So anyways, let's see, where was I? So we stick to natural as much as possible. We avoid chemicals. We strive to live simply. We're spiritual, not religious. We avoid extreme, aggressive, and polarizing things. We are not a marijuana, alcohol, guns, or anything extreme group. See, that was one of the biggest things with my group. Okay, so I told people that I wasn't into having stoned people around me. Okay, so right now, marijuana is a big thing in our country. Like, they're legalizing it in states and allowing people to grow so much of it and sell it and all kinds of different things. And you can buy CBD oil in almost in any state now, all kinds of things. And so people are really like pro marijuana now. Okay, so a long time ago, I actually sold pot. Long time ago, I sold 1/4 pound of marijuana once. And I made enough to buy my first Bug, old 68 Volkswagen Bug. But I didn't really smoke it much. Like a little bit here, there with Big Pete. Me and Big Pete shared a trailer together. and he bought 1/2 pound and he bought 1/2 pound and I paid for half of it. And then I would sell. I went out and sold 1/4 ounces of weed when I was like 18 or something, 19. Okay, and so, but I never really liked pot. And I never really liked just laying around. And then I would go over to the mini mart and buy some pizza treats. I would just hog out with the munchies. And so I have seen in my lifetime people that are pot smokers and how oftentimes they don't get anything done. And they're just laying around and, their lives aren't organized and this and that. And I personally don't want to live in community with people that are high all the time. Now, like I've told people in my group here, if somebody wants to smoke a bowl once in a while, this and that, or drink a glass of wine, that's cool. That's cool. But do I want drinkers and pot smokers that are regularly doing these things around me? No, I don't. Now, other communities can be pot smoking and drinking, and they can own guns if they want to. If other communities think that they really need to protect themselves with guns, cool, cool. They can just do that. But do I want guns around me? No. I don't want all of these effing things around me. Do I look like I have these things around me? Do I get out my guns and I show you guys my shotguns and my MK-34s or whatever? No. Do I hear gunshots here in town? No. I kind of like it. I don't have redneck yada yadas around me in town. And they're at least not doing things that they did out in the country, so it's kind of better. And so I don't want extreme things around me. And a lot of people really didn't like that. And guess what? I don't care. And I told them, I'm sorry. I can read to you I could read to you some of the posts. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a really short and quick one. I put this monkey thinking. This gorilla, he's thinking about something. And I put, boy, have humans got nerve. Humans think that they are always the highest priority, that they are always more valuable than us. We will see now, won't we? We will see what God, creation, and nature have to say about that. What animals and plants are thinking. If plants could think, So yeah, COVID's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I've had some cute girlfriends and I've had some good businesses and this and that. But even though I was homeless largely due to COVID, I still think COVID's the best thing that's ever happened in my life by far. I've been praying and hoping and waiting for COVID for decades. How's the tiny house going, Brent? Oh, well, I haven't started it yet, I still have the $1,091 that you guys have donated to the tiny house fund, and that will go to buying land probably. It'll go to buying land as soon as I've got 5 or 10 more grand. And I'll combine that with some other people. Hopefully I can find some other people to combine that with so that we can buy some land and then build some natural houses on it. That's kind of the plan. But, the reality is that I'm open to a lot of different scenarios. I really don't know for sure how it's going to pan out. Oh, Adam, you'll have to go back and watch my videos from back in the fall. Weed is overrated and it's hell on my lungs. That's right. So is organic tobacco. I went back to smoking organic tobacco because I kind of really needed the stress busting qualities of that, so I smoked organic tobacco, American Spirit in about 2005. I went back to smoking for the first, I hadn't smoked for 13 years. And I really needed it for a while. And so for 6 months, I smoked organic tobacco, but then my lungs were just like burning because I like to go walk, and I'm like gasping for air. And I'm like, okay, this is it. I got to quit. And I used skullcap, the herb skullcap in tincture form. And it really helped because it like winds you down. You just put a big scooper, a big dropper underneath your tongue and hold it there and let it absorb. And it absorbs pretty quick. And you can feel your body. The skullcap is a really powerful nervine herb. And you can feel your body just go, whoa. Can a homeless person sing "Daylight Come, I Want to Go Home"? Yes. Absolutely. Daylight come and I wanna go home. Hey-oh, hey-oh. Daylight come and we wanna go home. Okay. So let's see. I see posts on here I didn't even see before. Here you go. Here's one from Reja Adam, Metaphysical Insight and Intuition Group. Every disease has a deeper meaning and an herb that can cure it. Melissa officinalis tea, 6 weeks, kills viruses. This is a lot of the people that are friends with me on this group are from other countries and they don't speak really great English. But basically, yes, lemon balm kills viruses. And like the viruses in my lip, the more lemon balm tea, Melissa officinalis, that I drink, the more it kills it off and keeps it at bay too, no matter what I'm eating. But when I used to drink it, it would make me too sick because I was detoxing too much. And you guys have to understand that when you're addressing your issues, the more issues that you have, the more you have to take it, really pay attention to the pace that you're taking it. And the more self-massage that you're doing, the more you're pushing yourself in other regards. The more calming the mind you're doing, same thing. There's so many different modalities of healing. And you can only do so much and so many. And so you really have to just focus on the ones that you think are the most important. That's why I tell you that when I do a holistic consultation, I talk to the person to try and figure out what the most important things are for them to address, to work on. And so let's see what else here. So many posts. Okay. I don't know if you saw this one or not that I wrote, but let me get my water. I'm out of water. Watch, some people just joined us and they're like, there's nobody there. Check it out, you guys. Check out all these nice travel paws that are for sale. There's a Stornetta lavender on the top. There's 2 green. That's the sage green. That is the very last of the sage green. As soon as those 2 are gone, that's the end of it. Here's 2 eyes of the world yellows, and this is the ginkgo. There's only one ginkgo left, and that's the end of ginkgo forever and ever. There's no more to be bought anywhere in the world. That's it. There probably is somewhere. Somebody's probably stashed some somewhere, but you can't find it on like any site, you know? But yeah, those are only $12, and they're made from scraps from making pillows. And so they're probably a limited time offer thing. We'll see how that goes. But I also wanted to tell you guys that tomorrow, I believe, I'm getting soft balls in the mail, and I'm going to regularly have high quality butt rubbing soft balls for you to purchase. And this is a tool that every single person should have a good leather softball. And you use that on something like a yoga mat, preferably. If you've got some carpet, hopefully you don't have carpet, but if you have carpet in your house, it'll probably work on that too. But you just put it on the floor, you put it under your butt, lay on your back and put it under your butt and put your weight on it and work it. And you should do that because when you, like every day almost, because when you're sitting on your butt muscles, they're going to get tight, and that causes low back pain. It causes leg pain. When the back of your legs get tight, it causes butt pain, and then that causes low back pain. They're all connected, and your muscles go in kind of like interconnected lines throughout your body. And so you have to like know that the importance. You have to know how very, very important it is for you to regularly release your bod with first massage, then stretching. First massage, then yoga. And so the tool for people to use, maybe somebody that's very small could use a tennis ball, but small women typically have bigger butts. That all of us guys know that, and we all like really nice butts. But those butts need to be released with softballs. A leather softball. You don't want those plasticky ones because they slip on the floor too much and they don't feel natural. They don't feel good. They just feel like plastic. Plastic things are fine for like glasses with dirt all over them. They're fine for stuff like that. Look at these. You think those have dirt? Look at these. I should put wash me. Wash me. Or wash. So, I don't even know what I was talking about. So, I'm going to have leather softballs, and you can buy 12 of them for a better price and then sell them individually to people. And I've already got the boxes, but because the 4x4 boxes are perfect for those. And I use those 4x4 boxes for shipping soother tools. And in the next few days, I've got to go out into the cold weather and make more soother tools, the small ones. But yes, I will have leather softballs on probably just for a really good regular price. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $9 plus shipping, which is better than anything you can get on the internet. Oh, small women have big butts. I don't know about that. Well, I mean, compared to guys, women have bigger hips. It's just the nature of our bods, how they are. Not everybody is the same though. But let's see. Okay, so check this one out. Did you guys see this one that I created? Wild animals versus humans. Look at the beautiful picture of that buck. So it goes, compare the health of wild animals to humans. Wild animals eat and live naturally, and just look at how healthy they are. They're not fat. They're usually not sick. They generally don't need any medications or help at all. Now look at humans. They steal the milk from other animals' babies. This makes them sick. They alter their food in many different ways so that it's not natural anymore. This makes them sick. They chase money to pay for more and more materialism. This makes them sick. They destroy their own air, food, and water, and this makes them sick. Then they pray to Jesus, please help us to get better. Boy, are they sick. if they think that they can pray, that they can just do all of those things, and then they can pray, and that will help them to get better, it might, if they start doing stuff like what I'm telling you. Like if they get clues from creation, and that's possible, that's entirely possible. But if they don't have a good spiritual connection to be able to get these kinds of clues, to eat whole foods and start changing their diets and start changing their lifestyles, etc., if they don't get those clues from creation, God, whatever you want to call it, then I don't think it's going to work. I think they can pray all day and all night, and it's just not going to work. Oh, and here's the other picture. There's the other picture to that one. We put the beautiful buck, totally healthy, all natural, eats all like greens and bushes and all the things that a buck eats. And then there's Italy. There's the COVID ICU on their respirators in Italy. They ate a lot of pizza, a lot of pasta, and a lot of meat. A lot of pizza, cheese, wheat, dairy, and meat. Oh boy. And you know what that gets you? Like that. Like out, like clear the hell like that. Like, look at that dude right there. Look at that dude. That guy looks like he's going to have twins. And you see them every day at the grocery store. Sorry, Buck. I'm not picking on anybody, man. I'm just telling you what I see in pictures and everywhere. The way people look, and wheat, dairy, and meat. No veggies. Man is the most insane species. Here's one. Man is the most insane species. He worships an invisible God and destroys a visible nature, unaware that this nature he's destroying is the God he's worshiping. I didn't post that one. I like it though. So yeah, there's one. I'd rather walk alone on a path of truth than to follow the beliefs of the mentally enslaved that refuses to critically think for themselves. That's my post right there, baby. I'd rather walk alone on a path of truth than to follow the beliefs of the mentally enslaved that refuses to critically think for themselves. I look pretty alone, don't I? You see anybody else here? No, just you guys. Just you guys. I'm talking to a camera. Okay, I'm sorry, Buck. I get it. Sometimes it takes me time to get it. So here's one. I can't remember. Oh yeah, I already told you guys this one. The one with why music is very important to me. And then I listed all the great, amazing artists from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Okay, so check it out. Here's something I may not have talked with you guys about. Remember back in like elementary school and junior high and high school, how you had to take PE, physical education? Now, when it was just elementary school, you'd go out and play, and sometimes things would be organized, and other times it was just like free time, and you could go out and we played Nerf football or kickball or softball, stuff like that. And I always loved to get out and do stuff like that. I was not always into the classroom stuff. But I always loved going out and playing various sporting activities. And I was generally pretty good at them too. But then we became adults, okay? We became adults and adults aren't required to do any of that, nor do they do any of that. Most of them. Now, there are some exceptions to the rules in cities where they'll have league things, like, they'll have softball leagues and various things like that, frisbee football leagues, stuff like that. But for the most part, adults, they exercise alone if they do exercise at all, and most don't do anything anyway at all. And so for me, one of the advantages that I'd like to have with a community, one of the really cool things is that I'm looking for people that are interested in playing. I remember you'd go over to your friend's house and you'd knock on their doors and you'd say, "Can Joan come out and play? Can Bob come out and play?" And sometimes their parents would let them go out and play with you, or sometimes they wanted to. And sometimes they didn't, but you would go ride bikes or you would whatever. But for me, I never got over that. So I've actually gone around to my neighbors and I asked one girl if she wanted to come out and play frisbee with me. And she said that she would, and she did, and she would come over in a minute. She never came over. So I was like, well, what can you do, I asked my neighbor Martha if she wanted to come out and play frisbee. No, doesn't want to. I asked some other neighbors down there. They said, yeah, but not today. And so for me, I want people to come out and have fun and play hacky sack, badminton, softball, bicycling, hiking, yard games. And then I put a link to a bunch of like grass yard games that you can buy nowadays. There's all kinds of interesting ones. And I'd really get into that. Hacky sack, frisbee. But the thing is that most people, they don't understand the value, and they're just lazy flux, they're just lazy. And they just want to sit on their devices and play games on those or whatever. I think that we spend way too much time in front of these freaking things. And incidentally, very soon, I am going to take you on a walk and or a ride on a new country road I don't have to take my car anywhere. I found it the other day, and it's really beautiful. And it's just like the country, and it takes me 10 minutes to walk there. And only 2 cars passed me the whole time I was on it the other day. And so I was like, woohoo! Yahoo! I found a place to go and walk and bike. So I will be making a video of that soon, you guys. Oh, thanks, Buck. How's your night, man? It's good. No, Australia does not excite me, Taylor. I'm sorry to say. I grew up in the desert, and Australia, the Aussie aggressive mentality of men there. The whole, yeah, I'm not into it. If anything, New Zealand. If I were to go someplace, it would be like that down there, down under. It would be New Zealand. Definitely not. And I've heard that the fruits and veggies in Australia, horrible and expensive, and the availability, just the opposite in New Zealand, a lot better. So I definitely, sorry, man, not going to Australia. And also, like, there's hardly any minorities there, you know? I think that, like, other than like what some people think about me, that I'm like racist or whatever, I actually really miss the minorities. Living here in North Carolina, I miss seeing Asian people. I really like Asian people. We do have Hispanic people here, but I miss seeing more Black people. I like to see more Black people, and we don't have that here. I grew up in Southern California, and you know, a lot of Hispanic and Black people I don't like, but I really like a lot of them, you know, and I like being around cool people, okay, basically. So the more of a wider variety of cool people, as long as they're cool, I don't care where they're from or whatever, the bigger the variety for me, the better. And that's just something that we have the potential to be spoiled with that if they're cool. And that's a big if, because they're not always smart, intelligent, um, truth seekers, cool, whatever you want to call it. People aren't always like that. And that goes with white people here too, because the hillbillies and the rednecks here, I don't want to have anything to do with them, really, in all honesty. But that's one of the things, another thing about Australia, that I don't believe that you guys have a lot of variety in that regard. And I even saw a post of how they were trying to keep other races out by doing something. I don't remember exactly what they were doing, but they were doing something intentionally to keep them out. But anyways, it's not all desert. Move to Bryan Bay and you really fit her in. Quite multicultural. We do actually grow everything here. Our problem is that we export it to everyone else. Yeah. Now, I haven't really found any place in the world that really rocks my boat yet. The thing with all of the Latin countries down south in Central America and South America is that it's pretty much Catholic, you know, and that doesn't excite me in any way, shape, or form. You know, Catholic people, you know, from that sect. So, not that I wouldn't like people, that I might. It depends on what country. But I've seen some things with Costa Rica lately on videos that didn't really excite me. It seems to be kind of getting kind of like Hawaii, kind of like so many white people there. And when all these expats go to these countries, a lot of the reason that these people are expats is because they have a lot of anger. They're like a lot of jerks in this. So we're the worst of the worst people, some of them that are from the United States, are going to this country and creating this representation of who we are. And not all of us are like that, you know? And I'm a member of some of those expat groups down there, like in Vilcabamba, Ecuador. And I've been a member in various Costa Rica groups on Facebook too. And so I've gotten a taste for kind of what it's like down there. In Costa Rica, you can get all your stuff stolen in about a second, you know, and you have to really watch it. Right now, Gabriel Traveler's YouTube channel is there, and he took his backpack and he says, he was walking in downtown San Jose, right? And he says, better safe than sorry. And he took his backpack and he puts the straps over his back on the shoulders, and he puts the bag on the front. He put the bag part of his backpack. So Gabriel Traveler is a long time experienced traveler everywhere. And when he's walking in downtown San Jose, Costa Rica, he definitely does make sure that all of his stuff is very tight onto his body and where he can protect it from getting ripped off of his body. So that's what I'm talking about. Like in some of these Latin American countries, you know, you have to, I put a post, check it out. I created a post on one of them one time. It was about 5-6 years ago. And I said, I'd like your honest opinion about how dangerous it is to live in Costa Rica. How many of you know people personally that have had crime against them? Roughly 85%, and you wouldn't have believed the responses. You would not even have believed how many, dozens and dozens. It probably was over 100 responses that I got off that one post on a Costa Rica group. And it was really weird because 85% of them said yes, they had things, and most of it was stuff stolen. And people are not afraid to break into your house, your apartment, and steal your stuff. And so a lot of, like most of the windows anywhere in Costa Rica have bars on them. And a friend of mine lived in San Jose, and they had to hire, every neighborhood, they have to hire a security guard. And each person pays the security guard a certain amount of money. Each household has to pay the security guard to guard their neighborhood. And the safest neighborhoods are like, they have security, they have big fences around them, and all the windows have bars on them, all kinds of stuff like that. So that doesn't excite me. And some people said that even out in the country, a lot of people said that even out in the country, you're not safe in Costa Rica. And so, and then, okay, so 85% said that there was crime. Again, they knew people or they personally had crime against them from living there. And then a small percentage, like 10 or 15%, said they had had absolutely nothing ever happen to them. Some people were just adamant that nothing, it was where they lived, they leave their doors open, all kinds of stuff. They had never had anything happen to them in any way, shape, or form. And my friend Christina, I don't know if you guys remember this or not. I don't know if you remember Christina or not, but her and I made a shiitake mushroom video about 10 years ago. It's been a long time. And Christina traveled, she lived down there several winters, and she also traveled to Nicaragua, and then she lived in Mexico too, in Oaxaca. It starts with an X, I believe. Oaxaca, Mexico. And so she spent a good deal of time down there, and she loves going down there for the winters. Now, she didn't do it last winter, and she didn't do it, she didn't go last winter, and she's not going this winter, I don't think, because of COVID, obviously. But she said she never had any problems with anybody down there, but that's not generally the case. And I got a lot of feedback. So I'm really leery about a lot of going to different countries. The Asian countries, and Thailand, I've seen people, I saw one video, Durian Rider was showing this guy dumping his garbage into the bay. Okay, so you guys want to know where all of that plastic is coming from that's getting into the ocean? It's not from the United States. It's from either the Latin American countries down south, just throwing their trash into the waters, into the oceans, and or the Asian countries. For some reason, these people don't have as much respect for the environment. They just freaking, they don't keep their trash in one place. Like here in this town that I live in, it's clean. It is a clean little town. There's not much trash. In big cities, you'll see trash. You'll see trash. But it just depends on where you're at. But generally, in the United States, people keep their trash in a landfill. They keep it in the landfills. And you don't have people going to the bays like in San Francisco Bay and dumping their trash in the bay or in New York or wherever. But in Asian countries, in Thailand, I saw it. I saw it on a video. They're just dumping. And in Latin American countries, it's not like they just don't have respect for the environment there, you know. But the opposite is true in the Asian countries regarding crime. Okay, so from what I understand, you don't see the crime near as much in those countries like as you do in the Latin American countries. So, I mean, you just have to think about all these different things. For certain, all the places, it's going to be better and cleaner and quieter and less crime, etc. for the most part in the country, just like anywhere. It's going to be like that. Yeah, I'm going to do some more cycling soon. So I've thought about a lot of different countries, and you know what? The countries that where I'd like to live the most would probably be like, let me look at the maps. Maps. They're changing the icons. Now the Google icon looks like that. It looks like an upside down teardrop. That's brand new today. Okay, so let's look at Denmark. Okay, so this looks like kind of a good place. It seems like kind of a good place for me, that would be good for me to live. I have a lot of ancestry from Denmark. And it's a coastal country, so it's not going to be too cold. It's fairly far north. So, I mean, it's just above Germany. But here's the problem. So you can't just go to countries like Denmark and be allowed in if you're an American. I mean, I guess it's possible under some circumstances. If you have some specialty occupation that they really need there, then that's possible. But it's not likely that you're going to get to just go and live and stay in Denmark. Okay, so the Netherlands. The Netherlands is another place that I would consider. I really like bicycling. Okay, so these are where my ancestors are from. Most of my ancestors. These are where like civilized people are from. You know, people that they don't like. I heard that in Sweden. In Sweden, the politicians don't make any more money than your average person, and they're just average people. Okay, and you don't have like. There are a lot of qualities to these countries that are so much more less polarizing, and people there seem to be a lot more civilized. Okay, I want to live, but the thing is that it's so damn cold up there in Sweden and Norway and Finland, these Arctic countries, and I got to have my light, you know? And so I'm telling you, I just have not found, and somebody might say, well, move to India. That's a really warm place. And there are some good things about India. There are some cool things, but there's a lot of disease there because there's so freaking many people. And I just don't think that, I donate to the Peepal farm. I don't know why they named it that, P-Pal. Like your friend that pees on you. Here's your P-Pal. But it's probably some Indian name. Peepal Farm is a really wonderful animal sanctuary that saves dogs and cats and cows mostly, but also some other animals. And you should check out their videos on YouTube. They'll usually have English captions on the bottom so that you can understand what the guy is saying. But they're wonderful people, but they really, they need to get a control over their population and their tradition for marrying people and their desire for having children. That all really needs to go away, because the country of India is like the size of, I think, is it Texas? Something like that. And they have 1 billion people there. Imagine 3 times more people than the United States. Maybe it's Alaska that it's the size of, but it's small. It's a fairly large country overall, comparatively speaking. But to have 1 billion people in a country that's the size of Alaska, whatever. Oh my God. Oh my God. And so anyways, I've looked around at a lot of different places, y'all. And I'm not really that excited about any other places other than, like I said, if I were to find a really great community in the Netherlands or Denmark there, I might consider it. But bear in mind, look at this. Look at this. Look how much farther on the globe, how much farther north these countries are. The UK, Ireland, Denmark, even Germany. Look how far north on the globe they are. There's me, that yellow there. I'm in alignment with Spain. I'm more like in alignment with the Mediterranean. Here in North Carolina, if you go straight to the east, I'm in alignment with the Mediterranean here. And this is very warm. This is warm country here, kind of like deserty, like California. I've seen the terrain in Spain and Portugal and Morocco, and it's all very deserty and dry. And then you get up into France, and it's starting to get greener and all of this. But look how far north on the globe Denmark is. Denmark is as far north as clear up, way up here into Canada. Now, these are coastal countries, okay? So it's not going to be that cold. It's going to be warmer because it's more coastal. But still, you're not getting as much light. You don't have as much sun exposure, and I really like that, For me, moving towards a plant-based diet, for me, it makes sense to start thinking in terms of warmer climates. Because right now it's cold outside for me. I'll tell you how cold it is. Right now here it's 35 degrees. Okay, it's 35 degrees, and it's going to get down to 26 tonight. So I like it temperate. I like it warm, and that's why I've been thinking about Ecuador and Vilcabamba. it stays between 60 and 80 all the time because it's in Ecuador, so it's right on the equator, but it's at 5,000 feet in elevation, so it gives you like this really, really, really temperate climate. And there are some weirdo expats that live there and stuff, but incidentally, those of you that are aware of and know Matt Monarch from the raw food world, you know how he's Jewish? Someone there told me that he has some kind of a Jewish disease and that he's back in the United States now for treatment. And I was like, maybe he needs to eat some meat. Because I think that a lot of people can get themselves in trouble, especially if they're like somebody that's trying to, where are you? There you are. So if you're somebody that's a YouTuber and you're a dedicated vegan and you're a hardcore vegan personality, you know, then you're stuck in that. Okay. You don't have any room for movement in any way, shape, or form, and you can't go back because like your viewers are also hardcores and they expect you to stay the same, and if you stray, then you have broken the law. And so I feel bad. Like, I don't really feel bad, but I definitely won't be following in those kinds of shoes ever again. I'm not committing to something that I can't stick to. Let's read some comments. Thank goodness we only have 25 mil total. I don't know what that refers to. Many countries require a person to have significant assets for residency. Yeah, I know, Mouse. I know. You're my mouse for sure. That's what I have. See, I'm one of the richest people in the world because I have mouses and I have bucks and I have surveyors, all kinds of great people that watch my videos. And so I am blessed to a degree. But the thing is that that I need people around me like here, you know? And there's a difference. It's cool to have viewers and all of that. But at the same time, I need sex. Not just porn. I need like real sex. If you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure most of you can understand that. But not just that. I need like somebody that I can really talk to. Because the sex, it's only good for a little while, and you can do some every day if you want, blah, blah, blah. But you gotta have somebody that's worthwhile to talk to for the rest of the day, or at least for an hour or two would be nice. And so that's why I create a lot of the posts that I'm creating on that group page. And why I'm just totally, see, I realize that you come to realize if you're somebody like myself that makes videos and you're a really unique person and you have specific needs in regards to people, not so much with the sex, but more so with the mind, you have specific needs that, and very like, unique needs. I have unique needs because I am not satisfied with talking to very many people. And I'm not like trying to brag about that. I'm really honestly not. I'm just telling you that I get really bored with things, especially people that I find inadequate. And so I have to really, in order for me to find people, and you guys are like the cream of the crop, you should know that. If you feel the way I do about things, and I'm not talking about you Trump supporters, because if you're still a Trump supporter, there's something wrong with your brain. In all honesty, I don't understand it. I can understand how a person can be supportive of his policies. A lot of them are conservative policies that needed to come out and be revealed. And that's the beauty of Donald Trump. But if you still think that those policies the value of those policies outweigh his detrimental poor character, you've got a problem. You've got a serious freaking problem. So in any case, it's really hard for me to find people that I really like and that I can really get along with. And so I find that the only chance that I ever possibly have to do that is if I just come right out and say what I like and what I don't. And what that does is a lot of people that really are aghast with they're really aghast with my energy, they'll unsubscribe or they'll unfriend me or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, cool, I'm just all good with it. I'm just going through the process of you're good, you're bad, you're good, you're like me, or you're not like me, you're like me, you're not like me. And people come and go like the wind. And so I just allow that now. I'm all good. So anyways, I hope that this transmission has been good. It's been on Chrome, so I suppose that it's been good. Can somebody tell me if it's been okay for them? Taylor surveying? Is it all coming through good out there in Aussie land? Hi, God. Hello, God is everywhere. So yeah, anyways, I want to thank everybody for joining me. I'm sorry that I'm leaving now. That if you just joined me, God is everywhere. I'm sorry that tonight's broadcast is over. It's almost midnight here in the East. And today's Monday, right? Yeah, today's Monday. Sometimes I lose track of the days. I'm like, I don't even know what day it is. And even holidays, I'm like, oh, it's Christmas. Oh, it's New Year's. I had forgotten that Friday was New Year's. I said to the postman, so I'll get it out tomorrow. And he goes, oh, we're closed tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. It's New Year's Friday. So I hope that you guys had a good weekend and a decent Monday. Oh, before I excuse you, be sure and go to Brett's Natural Health and get yourself one of the special deal pillows. These little travel pillows are only $12. If you get 2 of them, the shipping won't be any more than if you just get 1. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Go to brettsnaturalhealth.com and support my channel, and I appreciate you so much.